Okay, we're carrying on with wages, right? I'm on worksheet number 4. So you'll see worksheet number 4 has wages written, right? So wages means remuneration paid to employees on the basis of an hourly rate paid weekly, and the amount varies according to the hours worked, right? So we discussed that the hourly rate is paid per hour work. So what it means is you're not receiving a monthly amount like a salary. They come in and they work for you, and then you pay them per hour. That's the difference with the wage. Piecework system, like how you have people coming in and doing piece jobs, and they paid for the amount of units produced. If they're making something for you in your factory, if they make for example tables, and they've made 5 tables for you, you're going to pay them for those 5 tables. Then you get overtime and hourly rate, right? So the normal time that they work for you, you pay them a certain rate, and if they've worked any overtime, then you have to give them a higher rate, which is called the overtime pay. Then we need to know what is a clock card, right? So a clock card system is used to calculate the number of hours worked. Each employee is given a card which is inserted into a clock card machine at the start and the end of each working day. So the people who are working for you, they called employees. They have a card, and then you have a machine at the entrance of your business. They slot it into there, and then it records in the machine the time that they came in, and then when they're leaving, they record the time that they went out. So your machine calculates how many hours they've worked. This is usually in a big company. We have to keep track of a lot of people's wages. So the machine is keeping, and the clock cards are keeping track of it, right? Then you have a pay slip, like a salary slip, but this is for wages. You give it to each employee. It provides information about the gross pay, the deductions, and the net wage, right? We'll go through that. Rate of remuneration means is you're working out the amount that you're actually paying them, right? Per week or per hour, and the employee will be remunerated. Example, if you make an agreement that they'll be paid 20 Rand per hour. Normal time is a system according to which employees are paid at a set fee per hour, and then you get overtime. So if you make an agreement that they need to work 8 hours, which is normal time, they'll be paid 20 Rand per hour. And for example, if they work more than that 8 hours, 2 more hours, then you're going to change the rate there, right? Because they're going over and above their normal work, and you're going to pay them about 30 Rand per hour. So that would be overtime remuneration. It's also usually set at a fee. So normally when you make an agreement, then you'll say, okay, 20 Rand is normal time, and then if you work any overtime, I'll pay you 30 Rand, right? Wage envelopes, envelopes containing cash that indicate the wages to be paid to the workers. On the envelope, the information is provided as to how the amount was calculated. So it's a simple way of keeping record for them. You're giving them, you're not paying it into a bank account. So you use an envelope, and you're writing on there the information, how you came to it, the number of hours that they worked, what you gave them, what you deducted, those kind of things, right? So again, like how we had gross salary, then you get your deductions and your net salary. We have a gross wage, okay, and then you get your gross wage is the basic wage plus any other payments such as overtime, okay. Then you deduct, certain deductions are made from the employee's weekly wage. Okay, we'll go through those deductions. You just need to know the terms gross wage. Then we minus the deductions from there, and that's how we're getting our net wage. Our net wage means we're taking the gross wage, we're minusing the deductions, and we're getting a net wage. Okay, so now this worksheet number 5 has the differences between salaries and wages. So the first difference is that the salary is paid monthly and wages are paid weekly. That's the big difference, okay? Paid by check or electronic transfer into the employee's bank account. So it's a bank account, and then you, the employer, is going to deposit a check into their account, right? And the wages, the difference is it's usually paid in cash at the end of the week. And many employers, however, transfer wages electronically into the employees' bank accounts, right? And nowadays, you also have these e-wallets where people send their money on the e-wallets. So it can be paid in a different way, but what's important is that it's paid weekly, and most of the time wages are paid in cash, right? A fixed salary is negotiated before the employee starts his job, right? So you are fixing the amount that you're going to earn per annum, and then you work it out per month, and that is unless until the time you're due for increase, then it changes, but it would be that increase would then last for another year. So it's a fixed salary, right? On a wage, the rate is negotiated before the employee starts his job. So you'll agree on an hourly rate how much are they going to be paid per hour, or a piece work rate, which means like if you make me one table, I'm going to pay you 1,000 Rand for that table. Okay, so it's not per hour, it can be calculated on a number of units, and then that's the normal. That would be called the normal rate that they are paid. Okay, usually there's no pay for overtime, but employees can receive incentive bonuses, housing subsidies, or car allowances. So what happens on a salary, when you're earning a salary, you normally, if you especially if on your higher salary and you have some extra work to do, they're not going to really give you every hour that you work in. But if they see that you're doing well and you're doing good work, then they would give you a bonus, or they would give you a housing subsidy, means they'll give you some money to buy a house, and a car allowance means they also give you something towards buying a car, right? And then in wages, overtime is calculated and included in the gross wage. So what happens with wages is that you work out the overtime rate, like how I told you before, it will probably be like 30 Rand instead of 20 Rand according to the number of hours, and then you would add it in the gross wage, and you'll write it on the envelope. This is how many hours you've worked for me, here's your pay. Okay, so can you see the difference between salary and wages? So there's no actual task to do today, but what I want you to do is, we've been through 5 worksheets today, right? And you need to read through this example, okay? And then I want you to take your notebook and jot down some notes for yourself and make some notes, and remember what we've done today. We've been through salaries and we've been through wages, just basically understanding all the concepts, and then we'll carry on tomorrow, inshallah.